they quite heavy?
Yeah.
Are they heavy?
Yeah, they weigh a ton.
How heavy are they?
Very heavy.
Yeah.
The story I'm about to tell you is a little strange. Not many people know that until 9 years old, I grew up in the north of England, and there I had a childhood friend called Greg. Like my lifelong interest in running, Greg also holds an enduring passion: wood. Many evenings, Greg can be found in his self-built workshop, crafting ornate tables, smooth quality coasters, and even bow ties for weddings. Known by names such as Woodworking Wonderboy, Lord of Lumber, and the Tree Whisperer, Greg is a man who knows his way around a plank of timber. And it got me thinking, could we combine our passions? To really test his sawdust skills, would it be possible for Greg to go even further and handcraft a pair of 100% solid wooden running shoes? It was in the autumn of 2023 over a drink at the back of a dark English pub that I first presented my idea to Greg. And he agreed. Over the next 19 months, Greg set to work designing and building these remarkable shoes. From disastrous test runs to constant adjustments to questioning if we'd made a huge mistake.
That was horrible.
At the end of all this, I would put them through the ultimate test, heading to arguably the most unique parkrun in the UK and seeing just how fast I could complete a 5k there without breaking my ankles in wooden running shoes.
It's a bit of an experiment. It could go wrong.
I'm Harry Morgan, and this is JOG ON. In March of 2024, I delivered a pair of my running shoes to Greg for reference, and upon receiving them, he cut them open. Over the following weeks, Greg drew up designs, and soon he'd begun working on a version 1 prototype. By June, they were ready for me to see and try on for the first time. Over a cup of tea, Greg talked me through the
Prototype I just made out of scrap plywood that I layered up. It did take a lot of refining the inside of it to get it comfy enough to actually walk in, so that it's not just going to like bruise your foot. I found two main types of wooden shoe, which is the clog. I think there's like a Japanese style shoe, which is basically a plank of wood, and I don't think you'd want to run in them, really. I sort of started at the point of the clog and have come up with a design where there's a bit more ankle support, moving parts, so that you can actually get your foot in and tighten it up around your foot. It's definitely something new that's not been made before.
And with that, Greg set to work on wooden shoe version 2, getting a significant upgrade. As Greg explained,
the proper shoes are going to be made out of poplar wood. Tulip wood is also known as, which is the type of wood that clogs are made out of.
Cutting out chunky sections of poplar wood, Greg began to prepare the first block and carefully drew around my JOG ON sock to get the foot shape. I then watched on in amazement as Greg got down to business, gearing up like he was going into some sort of wooden battle. This loud, powerful tool might have been called the spinning ball of death as far as I was concerned, but what mattered was that work had begun on the final version of the wooden running shoes. In late 2024, I was with Greg again as he continued to craft the basic shape of the shoes, little by little making further adjustments, and our beautiful grainy vision began to take shape. Fast forward 2 months and one of the shoes was nearly ready. With Greg putting the final touches to the tongue, I finally put them on and even decided to try a very short test run.
I'm going to genuinely try and run. I won't ham it up, I'll just try it. You know what? Immediately my brain was saying, just hop on the left foot, it'll be quicker. That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh yeah.
Ignoring this disaster, Greg made some expert adjustments, and somehow this actually helped.
I mean, that is definitely more like a run. Watch out.
As the power tools roared once more, I wondered to myself, would this actually work? 3 months later, and I had word that both shoes were nearing completion. Now, with added eyelets, shoelaces, and advanced grip, it was time to take them for a proper spin.
So this is the near finished shoe, and it looks absolutely awesome. Now that Greg has added the electric orange laces,
Has to be orange, I think.
it almost looks quite JOG ON themed. And today we're actually going to try the very first test run in these shoes. I'm hoping this bit of grass here is going to simulate the parkrun a little bit, because Somerdale Pavilion is a very grassy parkrun. Greg has kindly vinyl wrapped these so there's a bit more protection, but really this is the big moment where I'm going to find out whether this is even possible to run in these shoes in this form. Okay, so we're just going to try the very first short jog to the line. I'm definitely confident in this and not remotely anxious about it. Let's go. I don't know. Okay. I mean, it's not awful. So initially I'd say that first test wasn't a disaster. Had some feedback. First comment was, can you pick your knees up any higher? I'm gonna give that a go now. I mean, that's my knees higher. It's starting to bring a little bit of turning into it. Hopefully I don't snap an ankle, but let's see. Okay, turning's quite difficult. Am I gonna have any skin left on my feet? Well, that's saying 5:55 there. That's sub 30 pace. I don't know. Is this possible for a 5K? Maybe.
Thumping away in my New Forest footwear, it quickly became clear that any attempts at turning were quite difficult. I then tried hitting top speed.
It's a weird movement to get... I mean, overall, normal running tiredness plus 30%. That's what it feels like putting these shoes on. I tried a little bit of a faster run there. That was horrible. Really looking forward to getting on with the parkrun and trying these wooden shoes at a 5K. Let's see how it goes.
19 months since that drink with Greg, the day had finally arrived.
Here in this field behind me, it's known as Somerdale Pavilion Parkrun, a 5K with a real difference. I'm going to try and run here for the first time ever in wooden running shoes.
Having even made a wooden shoebox for them, Greg revealed the final version. And they were a sight to behold. Finished to perfection, Greg had completely outdone himself.
They almost, at this point, look comfortable. That's how good they look. We've got contour down here, jog on down here, and they're finished really, really nicely. Running man on the back. This is going to be awesome. I'm almost excited about running in these now. Almost.
The jog on jumper came off and Greg and I went for a warm-up jog to prepare my legs and feet for this attempt. Back at the start, the jog on safety team taped me up.
We might even double jog on sock. I don't know if anyone's ever done that in the history of jog on.
And as planned, I pulled on not the usual 2, but 4 of the finest running socks known to man.
Double thickness.
But there had been something on my mind that I knew I needed to ask Greg.
If there's like a weak point to the shoe, where would it go wrong in your opinion?
Yeah, well, because it's made up of a few different parts, the weak points are going to be the main top piece and the base are going to be glued together. If it's going to fail somewhere, it'll be that it's just going to snap in half, which wouldn't be ideal. That's the risk, I guess.
I finished lacing them up.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Moving between gathering runners, normally at this point I would have tried some fast strides, but today that wasn't really an option.
Well, this is the first time I've never run in foam shoes.
Comfortable shoes were all around me.
Look at all these people. Those shoes look comfortable, those shoes look comfortable. He looks very comfortable. No one else in wooden shoes here.
A group asked me what I was doing.
It's a very long story.
They made out of wood?
Yeah, they're wooden. Yeah. My friend carved them over a long period of time.
What's the soles like?
Good grip.
Are they quite heavy?
Yeah, pretty heavy.
It was hard to tell if they were impressed or just taking pity.
If my ankle doesn't snap
Yeah.
a kilometre in.
Well, that'll get you more views.
Well, exactly. Probably not how I want to get the views.
Yeah.
Break my ankle and just go, oh, remember to like and subscribe. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Hello, sir.
I saw a man called Tim. Perhaps he would have more empathy for this attempt.
Video.
Maybe not.
How heavy are they?
Very heavy. If I could dip under 30 minutes, I'd be absolutely delighted in these.
I'd previously questioned Greg.
What do you think my chances are getting through this 5K and this working?
There's 2 challenges. It's the shoe itself holding up and working, not just breaking in half.
Yep.
And then the other part is it being comfortable enough for you to get round without collapsing and just not wanting to take another step. Maybe we've got a 70–80% chance of success.
Gathering at the start, we were off. I was aware that during the test run, I'd barely covered 250 metres and was now about to try and complete 5,000.
The world's first 5K in wooden shoes made by Greg. Let's see how this goes.
I would later discover that this very morning saw the record for most ever runners at Somerdale get broken, with 377 of us tackling this unique course. This 5K is run entirely on grass-cut paths, but what makes Somerdale famous is one particular section, known as the Curly Wurly, a wild spiralling route that twists runners into its middle before whirling them back out. Trying to get used to the feel of the wood beneath me, we made our way towards the Curly Wurly as I spoke with a fellow runner. Just 300 metres in and we were entering this insane, disorientating spiral. But it turned out I wasn't the only one who'd made interesting footwear choices that day, with one guy up ahead wearing no shoes at all. A marshal watched on and we finally made it to the Curly Wurly epicentre. Considering that I'd already discovered that twisting and turning in wooden shoes was awful, it quickly dawned on me that this was about the worst possible parkrun I could have chosen. However, once emerging from this, the straights were far more forgiving and allowed us to speed up a little. But this confidence soon disappeared.
Oh, bit of a lump. Okay.
As the ground became lumpy and uneven.
I feel like this is a faster pace than the pace that you tested it at.
Oh, that was a slight turn. Yeah, don't mind my screaming. It feels like that, whether that's partly just being in a
Group of people, yeah.
Exactly.
Runners were all around us across this green landscape, and I was able to slightly push the pace.
Overtook a few people there.
Yeah, I don't know what. Well, I think it's being a bit straighter. Cheers, man. Thank you.
As time went on, I tried to adapt to the shoes.
Thanks, Marshall. It's Marshall. It's an incredible park run. A couple of weird looks, but 8 minutes and 15 seconds in. My legs have never felt this heavy this early on in a park run. I'm sort of getting a technique. Thanks, Marshall.
Thoroughly confused by where the course had just taken us, Greg and I emerged from the grass.
The feet are getting a bit sore, but we're ploughing on.
The wooden shoes still, amazingly, intact. But, just in case, we did have a backup plan.
If something goes wrong, you're there with some gaffer tape.
Exactly.
Almost like a pit stop in the F1. Step to one side, quickly patch the shoes, and I'll carry on.
But so far, no tape was needed, and we passed back through the start to complete our first lap.
The shoes continue to get ever so slightly less comfortable with every step.
Easily one of the worst turns on the course. My ankle rolled dangerously, and I tried to jog on. After my first experience, I was not looking forward to taking on the curly whirly a second time, and attacked it
Just trying to land level each time.
with a sense of caution about my foot placement.
Interesting footwear, mate. Thank you. No PB today.
I would later discover that this run created an absolutely crazy map on the JOG ON Strava. Back in the centre, we finally hit the halfway point, and as I limped my way around the never-ending bends, I began to get a sense of optimism that we might actually be able to complete this. Nearly out, a woman shouted at me,
Thank you. Love the hat.
with standard running shoes surrounding me, I clip-clopped away and really felt like I started to get the knack for getting the most out of these rigid runners. On the subject of Greg's exquisite craftsmanship, if you'd love for Greg to make you something, go follow his woodworking on Instagram at Contour Wood Design, and you can get in contact from there. The first few participants were coming into the finish, and a man glanced down at my large feet.
Oh, thanks, man.
Gaining confidence as we took more places, I approached the next corner far too quickly, but remained determined as we hit
3.3. Thanks, Marshall.
continually moving up positions. The sun beat down on us, and I became aware that Greg's breathing was getting quite heavy.
I'm starting to find a rhythm now, almost. Thanks, Marshall. Cheers.
Another disastrous corner.
The ankles are intact.
The straights were a lot better.
This is going to be a PB for me.
Then I found something out I hadn't realised. I'd thought we went around the curly whirly twice. It turned out they send you around this insane section 3 times. Gaining on a group, I was again drastically slowed by a hard turn.
Terrible.
But then found the gap and made my move to overtake the group. Keen now to get this done, I gave my thoughts
The corners are the worst bit by far.
and entered the famous spiral one last time. I found myself in the strange position of being extremely comfortable in heart rate and breathing due to us running 9 minutes slower than my 5k PB pace,
Oh, this looks terrible.
while at the same time being very uncomfortable in my legs, feet and ankles.
I'm getting used to good exercise here, Greg.
Oh yeah, this is pushing it for me.
Oh, yes, look at this. I think we're going to complete it in wooden shoes.
And with that, we pushed for the finish. Somehow, in wooden shoes, we just run an official time of 26 minutes and 11 seconds.
All my calculations were completely out. Thanks, Marshall. Cheers. 26 in wooden shoes.
That's amazing.
An entire family of runners came straight up to me, clearly to check if I was mentally stable, but also fascinated by Greg's creation.
Someone made this, especially.
Yeah, this gentleman here.
Very nice cross. Is it?
And these conversations continued, with more and more people wanting to know what we were doing.
Are they heavy?
Oh, yeah, they weigh a ton.
Wow.
At last, I was able to unlace them, take some photos,
Cheers, man. Nice to meet you.
and stand in a field.
The expectation today was to try and break 30 minutes, so I was absolutely stunned that we just ran in the low 26s. That I was not expecting, but something about those straights, we were able to pick the feet up a little bit more. The shoes were heavy, of course, but was able to get that rhythm going, and with Greg next to me, really pushed us on to cross that finish line. That was Somerdale Pavilion parkrun in wooden shoes. I'm Harry Morgan. Go for that run, and this is Clog On.